I now recognize the distinguished chairman of the subcommittee, Mr. Simpson, for the purposes of amendment.
Mr. Chairman, I have a Republican en bloc at the desk, and I ask unanimous consent that the reading be dispensed with.
Without objection, reading is dispensed with, and the gentleman is recognized to explain his amendment.
This en bloc amendment includes several common sense changes that reinforce the goals and priorities of the bill and of this administration. Provisions included in this amendment would ensure compliance with President Trump's executive order on expanding American timber production, reiterate that the administration can continue its work to address and responsibly mitigate against PFAS, ensure that regulations are based in reality and are practical, and clarify a provision in the underlying bill related to labeling any pesticide, which has been mentioned several times by members of the other side of the aisle. And I have to say, falsely represented. Not different interpretations, but false statements. Gentlelady from Florida made some comments that, frankly, I got to tell you, are just not true about what this amendment does. So let me take a minute to clarify this. And for all the MAGA, MAHA moms that are out there that are concerned about this, that have been calling, let me clarify what this provision does. This is the third year in a row that we've carried this exact language in the Interior bill. The purpose of the language is to clarify existing law that states cannot require a pesticide label that is different from the EPA's label. The language ensures that we do not have a patchwork of state labeling requirements. It ensures that one state is not establishing the label for the rest of the states. It's the EPA that does that. This actually happened in 2017 when California, imagine that, California attempted to set its own labeling requirements for a pesticide. The current statute already has a federal preemption for labeling requirements. This language simply reiterates it. The language does not make any statement about the contents or findings by the EPA of human health assessment. It does not prevent the EPA from reviewing pesticides or re-reviewing pesticides. It does not alter the state's ability to regulate the sales or use of pesticides in their own states. This Republican en bloc explains these things because it is important to know exactly what this amendment does and what it does not do. And there has been misinformation about this being spread all over. So I hope this clarifies it. If you want one state, and that would be the most restrictive state, and I suspect that might be California, to create a label that's different from the EPA requirement, and then that state, a company that sells pesticides all across the country, would eventually have to adopt whatever California did and not the EPA. So essentially, you're taking the EPA's requirements and saying, okay, states can do their own thing on this. Because they're not going to require a labeling that's different for all 50 states. That would be impractical. That's why there is a state preemption on this. That's all this does. It has been in this bill for the last 3 years. So I hope it clarifies it, and I would hope that we would support this en bloc amendment. And I yield back.
Thank the gentleman. Gentlelady from Maine, Ms. Pingree, recognized to address the amendment.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I want to discuss a different provision in this en bloc amendment, which I was surprised to find in this particular en bloc amendment, which I will be opposing. So the Republicans snuck in, I think, something that's slightly divisive, which is renaming one section of the Kennedy Center after a family member of this administration. So let me just talk a little bit about what changes have taken place at the Kennedy Center. This has always been covered under this particular committee. They get an appropriation every year that covers many of the important improvements and capital expenses that need to happen there. But this year, there was quite a big change that occurred. You may have heard that President Trump decided to fire the president, the chairman, and all of the Biden board members and installed other people who he chose would be, in his mind, better people to be on the board of the Kennedy Center. Now the board is entirely made up of appointees that come from the president with no diversity between different presidents' appointments. And he made himself the chair. In the big reconciliation bill that we just did, the big ugly bill as we often refer to it, the Republicans gave President Trump $250,000, 6 times what is normally appropriated in our interior bill, to do the things that he's interested in doing at the Kennedy Center. Now, just remember, that is the same bill where we had to cut SNAP and Medicaid. We gave him over $250 million. The Kennedy Center is currently unauthorized. That authorization expired last year, so that means that any existing limitations at the Kennedy Center are currently not in effect. There is also no authorization with the appropriate policy committees to allow for a renaming of any portion of the Kennedy Center, either the one they've already chosen to put into this bill or any that may happen in the future. And other ideas that have been forwarded, such as a marina for yachts, one of the board members suggested, are currently, there are no ways to limit those particular options. So unlike what I think would have happened under other times, the Republicans have now given the president 6 times the normal amount of money to run the Kennedy Center, carte blanche over who will be on the board and how different parts of the Kennedy Center, or perhaps the whole Kennedy Center itself, will be named. And this amendment confirms that. So I think it goes without saying that it is something that I totally oppose, and I believe that many of my colleagues would oppose it. And I think it's hard to justify when you go back into your district that we are giving them $256.7 million with very little oversight, no authorization for changing the name, and a lot of authority over how that money will be spent. Later on in this bill, we will be talking about arts funding. We'll be talking about cuts to the NEA and NEH, cuts that were made back to your specific communities, to artists and schools and community arts projects. And my understanding now is that this administration would like to have control over what is arts and culture in our country, how funding will be spent, and as long as it's funding that they would like to spend, in this case on the Kennedy Center, it could be any amount, it could be greater than ever spent before, but if it's going back to our local communities as it is at the NEA and NEH, it will be cut. In fact, when we received this budget from them, NEA and NEH were completely zeroed out. So for this reason and others, I oppose this en bloc amendment, and I encourage my colleagues to do the same. Yield back.
Thank the gentlelady. Or do other members seek recognition to speak to the en bloc amendment? Gentleman from West Virginia is recognized.
Sorry, I thought this isn't the managers, this is the en bloc. Okay,
This
apologize.
is the en bloc.
Apologize.
Do any other members wish to address the en bloc amendment? Seeing none, I recognize Chairman Simpson for 1 minute to close.
I thank the chairman, and let me see if I got this straight. So we're upset that we didn't fund the arts, but we're upset that we did fund the arts. So I can't figure out which one it is, but I will tell you, yes, we renamed the Opera House at the Kennedy Center for the First Lady, who is the honorary chairman of the Board of Trustees of the Kennedy Center. This designation is an excellent way to recognize her support and commitment to promoting the arts, and I would encourage members to vote for this Republican en bloc amendment, and I yield back.
Thank the gentleman. The questions on the amendment from the gentleman from Wyoming. All those in favor say, Wyoming, excuse me.
Close.
Close.
One of those big states.
Yeah, Idaho. I don't know what I was thinking. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say no. No. In the opinion of the chair, the ayes have it. Roll call has been requested. Please, a show of hands. Sufficient number of hands having been raised. The clerk call the roll.
Mr. Adderholt. Mr. Aguilar. Mr. Alford. Mr. Alford, aye. Mr. Amodei. Mrs. Bice. Mrs. Bice, aye. Mr. Bishop. Mr. Bishop, no. Mr. Calvert. Mr. Carter. Mr. Carter, aye. Mr. Case. Mr. Case, no. Mr. Siscomani. Mr. Klein. Mr. Klein, aye. Mr. Cloud. Mr. Cloud, aye. Mr. Clyburn. Mr. Clyburn, no. Mr. Clyde. Mr. Clyde, aye. Mr. Cole.
Aye.
Mr. Cole, aye. Mr. Cuellar. Ms. Dean. Ms. Dean, no. Ms. DeLauro. No. Ms. DeLauro, no. Mr. Diaz-Balart. Mr. Diaz-Balart, aye. Mr. Edwards. Mr. Edwards, aye. Mr. Elzey. Mr. Elzey, aye. Ms. Escobar. Mr. Espaillat. Mr. Espaillat, no. Mr. Fleischman. Mr. Fleischman, aye. Ms. Frankel. Ms. Frankel, no. Mr. Franklin. Mr. Franklin, aye. Mr. Gonzalez. Mr. Guest. Mr. Guest, aye. Mr. Harder. Mr. Harder, no. Dr. Harris. Dr. Harris, aye. Mrs. Henson. Mrs. Henson, aye. Mr. Hoyer. Mr. Ivy. Mr. Joyce. Ms. Captor. No. Ms. Captor, no. Mr. LaLota. Ms. Lee. Ms. Lee, no. Ms. Letlow. Ms. Letlow, aye. Mr. Levin. Mr. Levin, no. Ms. Malloy. Ms. Malloy, aye. Ms. McCullum. Ms. McCullum, no. Ms. Ming. Ms. Ming, no. Mr. Molinar. Mr. Molinar, aye. Mr. Moore. Mr. Moore, aye. Mr. Morelli. Mr. Mervan. Mr. Newhouse. Mr. Newhouse, aye. Ms. Perez. Ms. Perez, aye. Ms. Pingree. No. Ms. Pingree, no. Mr. Pocan. Mr. Pocan, no. Mr. Quigley. Mr. Quigley, no. Mr. Reschenthaler. Mr. Rogers. Mr. Rogers, aye. Mr. Rutherford. Mr. Rutherford, aye. Mr. Simpson.
Aye.
Mr. Simpson, aye. Mr. Strong. Mr. Strong, aye. Mrs. Torres. Mrs. Torres, no. Miss Underwood. Miss Underwood, no. Mr. Valadeo. Mr. Valadeo, aye. Miss Wasserman Schultz. Miss Wasserman Schultz, no. Mrs. Watson Coleman. Mrs. Watson Coleman, no. Mr. Womack. Mr. Womack, aye. Mr. Zinke. Mr. Zinke, aye.
Are there any members wishing to vote or change their vote? Gentleman from Nevada.
Mr. Amadei, aye.
Gentleman from Alabama.
Mr. Adderholt, aye.
Gentleman from Texas.
Mr. Gonzalez, aye.
Gentleman from California.
Mr.
The other
Calvert,
gentleman
aye.
from California.
Mr. Aguilar, no.
Gentlelady from Texas.
Miss Escobar, no.
Gentleman from New York. I do not believe the gentleman is recorded.
Mr. Morelli, no.
Gentleman from Maryland.
Mr. Ivy, no.
Other gentleman from Maryland.
Mr. Hoyer, no.
Gentleman from Ohio. I do not believe the gentleman is recorded.
Mr. Joyce, aye.
Are there other members wishing to change or record their vote? Seeing none, the clerk will tally. In the meantime, I think this is probably well-known, but courtesy of Mr. Simpson, lunch is here. Carmine's across the hall, so please come and go as you will.
Are there going to be any potatoes?
You'd have to address that. I'm up here with you. Nobody. I've noticed nobody's brought either of us plates yet. On this vote, the ayes are 33, the noes are 25. The amendment is adopted.